honored to serve as your Master of Ceremony. It is my honor to acknowledge the presence of our distinguished guests, the Honorable Vice Dean of the Faculty of Agriculture, Sriwijaya University, Bapak Herpandi SPI MSI PhD, Coordinator of the Agricultural Product Technology Study Program, Professor Dr. Budi Santoso STP MSI, and of course our
Nah, aku
esteemed
butuh
guest
ini
lecturer for today, Ms. Dita
suara
Haka
kayak masuk
Soleha
TV.
STP MSc, Junior Halal Auditor and Streaming Analyst of Halal Feed and Food Inspection Authority, Netherlands, as well as our respected professors, lecturers, and students of the Faculty of Agriculture, Sriwijaya University.
Nggak usah lagi.
Today's lecture is titled Halal Beyond Borders,
Yang merah.
Career Pathways and Auditing Experiences in Global Halal Industry. Let us begin our event with gratitude and prayer by saying Basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hoping that today's session will run
Udah
smoothly
coba ini
and bring
jadi
us
jarak
valuable insights.
nggak bisa
Next,
apa ya.
let us rise to
Dan dia
sing our national anthem,
Maksud aku
Indonesia
arah ke
Raya.
kampus ini kan banyak bengkel. Kapan-kapan gitu keliling. Makanya sering sini, Pak. Pokoknya tadi gimana?
Udah itu kesal juga sama kata-kata tadi Pak.
Lagunya banyak ya.
Ya, kesal juga kan. Dari bengkel daerah itu.
Thank you. Now, we will have the welcome and opening remarks. We would like to invite the Vice of Agriculture Faculty to deliver his remarks and officially open today's international guest lecture. To Bapak Herpandi SPI MSI PhD, time and screen are yours.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, respected speaker, fellow academic, and dear students. It is a great honor and pleasure for me to welcome all of you to this international public lecture hosted by Agriculture Product Technology. Today marks a significant moment as we gather here across discipline, background, and even border to explore knowledge, exchange ideas, and build meaningful academic connection. Let me begin by extending our heartfelt gratitude to our keynote speaker, Dita Haka Soleha MSc from Netherlands, for graciously accepting our invitation and for sharing their expertise with us today.
Satu yang nonton.
We are truly privileged to have Sheikh as a distinguished scholar with us. This event is more than just a lecture. It is an opportunity an opportunity to engage with global perspective, to reflect critically and ignite intellectual curiosity among our student and academic community. The theme today lecture Halal Beyond Border, Career Pathway and Auditing Experience in Global Halal Industry
dikasih 100.000
is both
Indonesia.
timely and relevant as it
Bentar
resonates
ya.
with the challenge and development we face today, rapidly changing worlds. I am confident today that today's session will inspire fresh insight and productive discussion for all of us. On behalf of Faculty of Agriculture, I would also like to thank everyone involved in organizing this event,
Motor dapat berapa
the
Pak?
community, the supporting staff,
Kalian
and
dapat dari 50
of
dari
course all participants who have joined us today, both in person and virtually.
ini bayar berapa?
With that, I officially open this international public lecture. May it be fruitful and enlightening experience for everyone involved. Thank you and enjoy the lecture. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Bapak Herpandi, for your kind and inspiring remarks. Before we proceed to the main session, let's have a group photo together. For all participants, both on-site and online, please prepare and turn on your camera.
Okay, please to open your camera. We have four slides, and I'll go with the first one. One, two, three. And the second one. One, two, three. And the third one. One, two, three. And the last one. One, two, three. Okay, done. Thank you.
Emang biasanya 3-3
Everyone.
enggak?
Now, we will move on to the main agenda of today's lecture. I would like to hand over the session to our moderator, Ibu Citra Pratiwi Prayitno, STP MSc, Lecturer of Agricultural Product Technology, Sriwijaya University. To Ibu Citra, the time and screen are yours.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, good afternoon for the ladies and gentlemen, distinguished lecturers, respected guests, and also dear students. Welcome to the International Guest Lecture organized by the Agricultural Product Technology Study Program. And today, we are really honored to hold a special session with the theme of Halal Beyond Borders, Career Pathways, and Auditing Experiences in the Global Halal Industry. This session aims to broaden our understanding about how the halal industry operates globally, not only in Indonesia. And without further ado, let's welcome our inspiring speaker, Ms. Dita Haka Soleha, STP MSc. Hi, Ms. Dita, can you hear my voice?
Hi, yes, I can hear you.
We are really grateful for you to can spare your time with us for today's event. And before we start our interesting lecture today, allow me to introduce our distinguished speaker, Ms. Dita Hakasoeha. So Ms. Dita is an accomplished food technologist with a strong academic and professional background in food innovation, sensory science, and halal assurance. She is currently serving as the auditor and screening analyst at the Halal Food and Feed Inspection Authority in Zoetermeer, the Netherlands, and she holds a master's degree in food technology from Wageningen University, where she focused on food for mood and cognition, and a bachelor's degree in food science and technology from Wageningen University. Throughout her career, Ms. Gita has gained valuable experience through her work within the Flavor Food Innovation Center, PT Perspektif Panel Indonesia and Indonesia Halal Training and Education Center. She has also earned numerous achievements, including recognition from the Institute of Food Technologies (IFT) USA and Asia Pacific Agriculture Undergraduate Project Competition. With her passion for advancing food innovation and global halal practices, we are honored to welcome Ms. Gita Haka Soleha to share her insights with us today. For Ms. Gita, the time and place is yours.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. It's actually still morning here. It's around 9 a.m., but it's a nice weather and a nice way to start my weekend. And before I start my sharing session, I would like to say thank you to Ibu Chitra for welcoming me and also explaining, like introducing me to everyone here. And I also would like to say thank you for Sriwijaya University, Universitas Sriwijaya, for having me today, and also for everyone who involved in this event. And I also would like to thanks to especially my friend Ibu Indah, one of the lecturer of Universitas Sriwijaya, because actually we met like 6 years ago in Japan in exchange program in Ibarat University. So basically we learned together, we traveled together, and also we had fun together. So that's a really nice memory in time, Indah. Thank you so much. And actually, this is also the reason why I'm here today to have a sharing session with you. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen, everyone?
Yes, Lily.
Okay, great. Okay, so today, as we agreed, we're gonna talk about halal and everything about halal. And today's topic is halal beyond borders, career pathways, and auditing experiences in global halal industry. So, first thing first, what does halal truly mean? So, when people hear about halal, they often think about pork, they often think about alcohol, but actually, halal in Islam is beyond that. So, halal is everything that is permissible and also pure. And even in Quran, halal is also mentioned, and all of Muslims should consume everything that is lawful and also good. But in this modern time, when we talk about halal, halal is actually grown beyond that. It's not only about compliance to religious. It's not only compliant about Islam, but when we talk about halal, it becomes a system. It's a system of quality and also integrity that also involve food safety, supply chain, hygiene, traceability, and also social responsibility. So nowadays, if we talk about halal, we also talk about science, we talk about technology, sustainability, and something like that. And then basically, if we talk about halal, it's something when faith meets the modern food system. Okay, so now how about Indonesia halal transformation? So it's actually starting from market strength to regulatory power. So in 2018, Indonesian halal export value reached about 7.6 billion US dollar. That's quite a huge number, and then it increased gradually. And in 2024, it reached up to more than 50 billion US dollar. There's a really great development of halal export value in Indonesia, and I think our government also see that opportunity. So in October 2021, they created a regulation that mandating all the products entering, circulating, or being traded in Indonesia must be halal certified unless they have derived from materials that are haram, of course. But this is a really great opportunity for us, and this is really good because Indonesia become the powerhouse of halal industry. That's about Indonesia. And how about the halal world? So in 2020, global halal food and beverages market uh, in the world reached up to 1.96 trillion US dollar. It's a huge number. And then it increased the next day up to more than 2 trillion US dollar. And it is projecting reaching more than 3 trillion US dollar in 2028. So this is a huge development, and this is grow, and grow more in the future. So, what are actually the driver of those number? First, let's talk about the rise in the adoption of organic color product, because people these days they are more and more aware about the negative effect of chemical compounds such as carcinogenic or uh, carbon black compound, because they're really harmful and sometimes they cause cancer. They're really like having a high risk for our health. That's why people switching their diet into something that are more natural, more organic, and that's why the demand of halal product is also increased, and it also increasing the market of halal, of course. And the second driver is increase in the demand for halal product amongst non-Muslim consumer. This is really interesting because halal product is actually not only popular for Muslim consumer but also for non-Muslim consumer. And why? Because people see that halal products are more like cleaner, it's safer, it's more reliable, and that's why the demand of halal product is increasing. And many companies today they also develop more and more high quality halal product, which also increase halal market, of course. But we need to also note that every food trend always has its own challenge, and of course halal market as well. So the first challenge is high certification costs for halal product. So many food companies they're investing on the research and development to develop halal product, especially in field of grain and also meat nowadays. But actually, if they want to certify the product, it's quite expensive, and it's actually also slowing down the market, the halal market itself, because yeah, it's cost a lot and people need to invest for that. The second challenge is halal market competitive landscape. To stay competitive, companies also do a lot of strategies. They might launch product, they form partnership, they expand, they even expand their company in other countries, for example, and also they merge with other companies sometimes to strengthen their how to say to strengthen their company. Yeah, and the last one is acquisition or product launches. It's still about competitiveness. So when a company want to promote the product, they need to always have an innovation. That they always need to have something new to attract consumer about their product. And sometimes they also developing the product that they already have. For example, they might develop their plant-based product or vegan product into halal label. But this, of course, need a long process because they need to follow the standard. They need to invest on in terms of money value. They need to also train the people and everything. It's a quite complex process. And now I'm going to share about organization that have like a big role in the halal industry. So as an auditor, I also work closely to those organizations, and these four are the example of halal accreditation body. So what is halal accreditation body? So this is body that actually creating their own standard. They have their own halal standard. And every company that want to sell the product in their region or in their territory, they need to comply with this standard. But this is actually not limited to this, because there are a lot more accreditation body like in Thailand, in Singapore, in Africa, Morocco, and many others countries. They also have their own standard. They also have their accreditation body. But this is the one that I show here is actually quite big one, at least in my company, because our client demand to fulfill the standard of this. And my company, of course, is also accredited by this standard. So the first one is BPGBH. It's from Indonesia. It's Badan Penyelenggara Jaminan Produk Halal Kementerian Agama Republik Indonesia. And we also have our own standard called BPGBH Decree number 20 of 2023. So in the past, everything about halal is actually handled by Alpecom MUI, but it's no longer the case because our government also involved in this. And now everything is arranged and organized by BPGBH. They are the one who is responsible and also have rights to issue the certificate. But still, LPPOM and UI also have their own role. They might certify. What I mean here is they might like auditing the company and see if any company really complying to our standard. But the one who is responsible to issue and have right to issue is still BPGBH. But in Indonesia, we also have like lots of certifying body. Next, we'll also have Jakim. This is the standard halal standard from Malaysia, and also we have HAT. This is from Turkey. They also have their own rules and everything, and we also have SHAC or GCC Accreditation Center. So this is standard for Gulf countries like Saudi Arabia, UAE, Oman, Bahrain, and many other countries. So they all have their own standard, and some standards are actually stricter than the other. Okay. Now I think we're gonna talk about something more private about my halal journey. So in 2015, then when I got my bachelor in food science and technology in IPB University, and I still remember that day when I got a course about halal, and my lecturer also shared her experience about auditing. She's actually got her master and PhD in the Netherlands as well in Leiden University. We went to a different university, but still is in the Netherlands. Um, she told us in the class that she got an experience in auditing because in the Netherlands, since it's not really like majority Muslim population, we are a minority here. They really need someone who understands the Sharia law, so the perspective of halal and haram according to Islam, but also someone who really understands about the technology, about the technical things. Because when we want to see like if everything is correct in industrial way, we need to see like the technical things, especially in chemical or food technology. Yeah, and I think this is really interesting that time because I didn't expect that halal is also a thing in a country like that, like a minority country. So I was like, oh, that's super interesting. But I didn't really think about it that time, and but I think my interest in halal is also developed after that. So in 2022, I work in IHATEC or Indonesia Halal Training and Education Center. It is located in Bogor as an halal training coordinator. So here my role is coordinator. So I need to arrange, I need to coordinate halal training, and we actually provide halal training not only for like national but also international. And I saw that some of my clients today is also getting their training from IHATEC. And in the same year, I also published a halal book called Regulasi, Prosedur, dan Sistem Jaminan Halal. I wrote this book together with my lecturer. So in this book, we talk about the importance of halal, of course, the law, the new regulation from BBGBH, the scheme, and everything. And in the same year, I also went to Wageningen University to get my master degree of food technology. And I graduated from this university last year, just last year in 2024. And then I was thinking after my graduation to looking for a job here in the Netherlands. So I'm trying to get a job in food company. But at that time, I also kind of remember the things that my lecturer talked about, like having a halal industry, auditing things, and I think, oh, probably that's really interesting for me as well, too. Looking for that chance. So at that time, also looking for, I googling myself, like looking for if there's any certification body that in Netherlands and they need like auditing auditor role, something like that, and I found my company. But actually, Havia is not the only certifying body in the Netherlands. I think we got three here in the Netherlands. So in 2025, I start my role in Havia as an auditor and also screening analyst. And it's quite interesting because one of my colleagues one day they talk about my lecturer. They said, "Oh, we actually have a colleague as well from Indonesia back then, like long time ago. Her name is Nancy, and now she's a lecturer in IBB University." Blah blah blah. And I was like, "Oh, actually, I know her. She's my academic supervisor, and this is so interesting because." She also talked about halal and everything, and I don't know if she talked about half yet. So I was like, oh, this is kind of destiny for me. Maybe this is a bit exaggerating, but I'm just really grateful that I'm here. Okay, so that's the previous slide. Yeah, this is the next slide. So as an auditor, so my role is two in my company as an auditor and also screening analyst. As an auditor, I need to, of course, observe and see whatever in the factory. I need to examine the factory, the facility, the raw material on site, also the system, if the people is do the training well, if they do really understand about halal, something like that. And beyond the dice, I also work. So this is actually the previous step before auditing things. So if a company wants to certify their product, they need to submit their application. They need to provide us a lot of supporting documents, for example, specification, and if so, there is like halal statement, or if they have like halal certificate for their raw material, something like that. And we need to see and screen all the documents and see if it's possible to certify them. Sometimes it's quite a hassle because it's a lot of documents, but yeah, that's what we need to do. And for 9 months of my career in my company, I was assigned for several clients. So actually, my company quite have lots of clients, especially from Europe, of course, because we are based in Europe. But we also have clients in Asia, like Japan and China, I think. And also we have client from Africa, from America. So basically everything but Australia. We don't have any client in Australia. And I was assigned for in companies in several countries like Netherlands, UK, Ireland, Spain, Italy, Poland, Belgium, Germany, and I also had one chance to do an audit in India. Okay, so this is also a really interesting topic because for students especially because some when you graduate you're probably asking yourself what I need to do after this, what do I have to do, do I need to apply for a job, do I want to create a business, or do I need to continue my study? That's quite contemplation. But with the growth of halal market in Indonesia, it's actually opened lots of opportunities, especially for students. The first thing, of course,
Recording in progress.
halal auditing and certification. This is the thing that we've been talking about for the whole session. Because I think in Indonesia we got lots of halal certification body like LPAM MUI, but we also have private certification body like Scofindo, and I think some university also open service for that. For example, IPB, I think they have a halal science center, so they provide auditing things to audit like a company to get BBGBA certification. The next one is product development, and it's I think it's really related to us as food technology people, because like what I have said before, many company nowadays try to create high quality halal product, and to do so, we need to have a knowledge, we need to have experience about food, and this is really a good opportunity, especially if we also knew the Sharia law. And of course, it's also related to quality assurance and supply chain management, because I think halal system, it's a complex system. It's from like from the development into from, let's say, from farm to table. So we need to see every single aspect. So after the product development, of course, we need to see the quality, and it's a responsibility for quality assurance and quality control people. Um, and of course the supply chain as well, because like what I have said, it's not only something that happening in the factory, but also something that might also happen during the distribution, for example, or uh, during the receiving of material, during and everything. But we also have option if you don't want to work under people, and I was like, it's not my thing to work under people. Then you can create your job yourself. You can have like halal business and entrepreneurships, and it's actually really broad field, because it's not only about food, about like creating food. Because halal, of course, is also about pharmaceutical. It's about I don't know, some other things. But there's also some industry related to food. For example, you can create like packaging company. For example, you provide packaging that is suitable for halal product, or probably also transportation services. So if a company, they want to distribute their product, and they want their chain is stay halal, and then they can use your service, you can provide that. So actually this is a really broad field. And the last one is policy, research, and education. So if you are more into something, how to say, something that is theoretical, I could say, you can be a lecturer, you can be a consultant, or you can work in BPGPH to develop our standard, because I do believe that we're going to always develop more and more about our standard in the future, to make it better, to make it more efficient, to yeah, to increase the halal market and everything. And we need to also see like the demand, and we need to see like what is the best policy for that, something like that. So this is really great opportunity. Yeah, I think that's all. Thank you so much, everyone. If you have any question, please feel free to ask me.
Banyak diskusi, Pak.
And also informative information from you, Miss Rita.
Thank you.
Now, it's time for the question and answer session. So for the students in the room, you may raise your hand if you want to ask, or maybe in the Zoom, you can raise your virtual hand, or maybe in the can chat on the chat box.
Saya belum ya.
Yes, okay. So there is one student want to ask you, Miss Rita.
Yes.
Okay, hi Miss and everyone. So my name is Falia Agra Putri and I'm studying of Agricultural Product Technology 2024. Okay, hi Miss. I wanna ask you something about how global standard.
Yes.
Okay. In your view, is it possible if that how standard global to achieve growth in the each country? Because as we know, each country to have halal regulation in their country. Okay. So if it's possible, how the case to be its achievable and requirement accepted by universal? Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So that's really good question, because this is also like a kind of homework for a company to comply to its standard where they want to export their product to. But actually, for nowadays, there is no like, I could say, like standard, like world standard halal standard that might be accepted to each country, because each country has their own standard. But in this case, for example, in my office, we also ask our client, where do you want to export your product to? For example, if they want to export to Indonesia or to Malaysia, and then we need to really like apply their standard. So my office is actually having 12 accreditation. So we got 12 accreditation from 12 accreditation organization. So if let's say if a company, oh, I want to export to Saudi Arabia, I want to export to Indonesia, I want to export to Malaysia, then but I want to get a certificate that is how to say, that is allowed my product to enter their country. So the strategy that you need to choose is you need to choose a certification body that have a standard that you need. So for example, if you want to go to Saudi Arabia, then you need to find a certification body that has its standard like that. This is actually also, I think this is actually is also a topic, because I think last month there is a conference about halal in Malaysia, and they talk about these things, but there is no result for now. So let's see if in the future we have like a global standard for everything. I hope that's answer. Is it confusing? Do you need more explanation?
It's not, miss, and I got the point. So we
Okay.
can see where do we go to export our product like that.
Sorry, can you repeat?
Okay, so the point is we can see where do we go to export our product.
Yeah, yeah. You need to see like where you want to export your product, and see which standard is applied, and looking for a certification body that have like a complete standard. So you don't need to really how to say really looking for a certain certification body, but instead you choose one certification body that have all the standard, and then you got the certificate, and everything is fine.
Okay, thank you, miss.
Anytime.
Huh? Okay, does anyone in the room want to ask? Okay.
Betul kan jawabannya yang animasi itu tadi. Kalau itu doang yang paling mungkin. Kalau animasi masih boleh.
Okay, thank you so much for the chance. Let me introduce myself. My name is Elza Punia. I'm from Agricultural Product Technology 2025. So, Miss, I have a question for you. Do you have any tips for us, for students who aspire to follow similar career paths like Miss now, especially for us as the new student, and from where we need to start and how? Thank you so much.
Okay. Um, can you explain it more detail, like the career, like in halal industry, or the career like in a foreign company?
Hello.
Halal industry
In
in
Indonesia.
in Indonesia or abroad?
Abroad.
Abroad. Okay. Uh, maybe I will give my experience. So, in case in the Netherlands, because I also graduate in the Netherlands, we got a special visa for everyone. Every student that's graduated from the Netherlands, we got a visa called Zoekjaar. Zoek means like search in the in Dutch language. It means search, and jaar mean year. So it's like a year when you can looking for a job, a year we can you can stay and looking for a job. So we got like a year chance, so you can stay in the Netherlands and looking for a job. This is a really good opportunity, because in the Netherlands they want someone who already have let's say like housing in the Netherlands, and also have visa, so they don't need to pay for their visa. But if it's not possible, I mean, if right away from bachelor and you want to work directly abroad, it's also possible to use HSM visa. So it's high skill migrant visa. So basically, you need to. This is the visa that applied by the company. So you don't need to think about the visa because the company gonna take care of it for you. So what you need to do is actually apply to a company. You need to see if they have an opening job vacancy. But the most important thing is you need to see first if the company over HSM visa, because not all company in the Netherlands they do have that, because it's a special things here as well. They need to apply that in IND. So IND is actually like immigration ministry or something like that in the Netherlands, and they take care of this thing. So they need to apply their company to have rights to hire people outside the Netherlands to work for them. So first you need to looking for which company have that right to, who is able to give you a HSM visa. And the second one, you can just apply if there's any job vacancy, and then yeah, once you get the job, then you will get the visa. So this is actually really possible to do that in the Netherlands. I'm not sure about other country because I think they also have their own regulation. But so far, if you want to work in the Netherlands, then the step that you can do is that. Is that clear? I can also give the website for IND. Let me just googling it for a while. Okay, got that. Now I will share to the chat. Yeah, so in this website you can find everything about immigration, about working visa, something like that. So you can looking for part about HSMs, or maybe I can looking for that as well for you. Um,
So the website itself is for the job, not only in halal sector, but
yes, not only in health sector, it's for general. If you want to work in other field, like for general for technology, is also fine. If you have another, I don't know, like environment degree or something like that, it's for everything, not only in halal, but it's also a chance actually in the Netherlands to work in halal industry, because yeah, of course they need people who understand about halal, not only from Sharia law but also from technical things.
many thanks, Miss Gita.
Yeah,
Maybe I
anytime.
should have known you before this, so maybe I can apply for that. But no, I'm a civil servant in here, so I
Yeah.
cannot. But it is a good change for the students, yeah. If you want to
Yes.
have a
Yes,
job
please have a
in the
look.
Netherlands, you can see that website, yeah, website to to search the job in there if you desperate. Okay, so move on to the next question. Does anyone want to ask something? Oh,
Hello. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Hafizul Mukmin. I am from Agriculture Product Technology 2022. First of all, hello, Miss Gita. Thank you for your amazing story today. It was a very
Hello.
interesting story to hear for all of us here, especially in agricultural product technology today. So, the question about is I
Pembicara.
want to extend the question about the first question, which is about the rejection of halal product in the especially in EU. I mean, we know about a story about
Ini
many people
offline,
in the Europe actually
yang di
reject
situ
products,
offline. Jadi tidak kelihatan.
halal product, which is something like animal product. Uh, there's a data show that I read about 80% of European people actually reject the animal product, which is slaughtered by halal ritual. So, do you have any your own
Ini
story about to tell
dia
about
tanya yang offline.
about auditing halal product,
Tanya yang
especially
offline.
animal
Jadi kan mereka
that
nggak bawa laptop.
doing something like slaughtering in halal way? Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for the question. This is also interesting question. So actually, compared to other offices like certification body in the Netherlands, my company is one of the strictest. So we don't certify animal or meat. Why? Because this is really high risk product because you need to see whether the animal is really dead because of the slaughtering, not because of the stunning. Because in European we have a different rule. So in Indonesia, it's okay to just like slaughter your animal, but here we need to do stunning before we slaughter because we also concerned about animal welfare. So so basically, before we slaughter the animal, we need to stun them either with electricity or you just how to say knocked their head with something hard so they lost their consciousness. But this is the critical things because they might dead before the slaughtering and it means that the animal will be haram. But there's also a method to see if the animal is dead before or after the stunning itself. Um, so as far as I know, the animal should be slaughtered like 7 seconds or something like that after the stunning. So they got no chance to death before the slaughtering. But again, we're human. It's really critical and it's really hard to see if they are really dead because of the slaughtering, not because of the stunning. That's why my company chose to not taking the risk because it might be really responsible for us not only in the world but also in hereafter. So that's the biggest reason, and we only certify product there are non-animal product. But for the case like rejection or something like that, I think it's related more to the quality probably because I admit that I have heard no information about that before, and I don't know if they really rejecting like meat from Indonesia. So yeah, I have no idea about that, but probably it's more because the food quality inside of the halal things because halal meat is also quite common here. We have halal butcher here. So if you want to buy halal meat, you can buy in Turkish. Usually in Turkish store, they do have halal meat. Yeah, they really open about it, but I'm not sure about the exporting things. But that's a really new things for me. Thank you for the information.
Itu
Yeah,
Pak, kenalan
thank
sama
you for your answer. What
cara
amazing story it is. Thank
namanya
you.
di Belanda.
Please.
Support kami kalau sama
So, Miss Vita, can we move to the next
gas
question?
ya Pak ya.
Yes.
First of all, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Taufik Pratama. I am also a student currently enrolling in the Agricultural Product Technology of the year 2022. First of all, Miss, I would like to inform you something. By the European Union question, one of the question by Francois Xavier from France, it has come to light that there is a monopoly running around in France
Gimana ya?
on the halal
Ini
certification
pakai
that
pindah.
every single halal people that producing halal food required to pay to the Grand Mosque of France. So it has become a monopoly in France, which is
Laptop.
clearly a misconduct under the European law. And secondly, with the European food tracing and labeling law, that every single animal that has been slaughtered by the EU within the EU must be labeled and treated, but often and not, religiously slaughtered animals are exempt from labeling it. So I would like to question you these two things. When faith-based food certification such as halal or kosher even evolved into profit-driven monopolies, regulated more by market interests than by moral principles, do they remain sacred, expression of divine law, or have they become instrument of accommodated piety? And if so, should the state of the EU itself continue to treat them as protected religious right or expose them to the same scrutiny as other commercial enterprises? And opting for the EU traceability and food labeling laws if the European consumer were confronted with labels saying that their meat was killed while conscious or bled while aware. As we know, there are a huge movement around Europe right now that they want their animals to not be stunned before they were slaughtered. Would this represent the triumph of ethical transparency or the weaponization of disgust against ancient religious practice? At what point does the language of welfare and transparency become subtle form of moral coercion compelling to conform to secular sensibilities? Thank you.
Sorry to interrupt, because I think you got like more than one question, right? Or it's only one question?
Two, ma'am.
Sorry?
Two questions.
Three question.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, can we go one by one because I can remember by heart and probably you can explain it like more like in a simple way and like slowing down a bit so I can really understand what you were questioning about. Like the first question.
First question.
Yeah.
To what extent should the European Union intervene in the regulation of halal certification system to ensure transparency and prevent monopolization without infringing upon the autonomy of religious authorities or the principle of freedom of religion?
Like you mean in French? In France, right? Hello, I cannot hear you.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so this is really specific things because like what I have said before, I live in the Netherlands and every country has on its regulation that you need to follow. But so far, we also got clients from France and everything is all right. I mean, they can export to other countries, and other countries can also export to France. But I'm not really sure about the trading things in France. But so far, I think it's okay for now because we also got clients and they got our standard. Also, BBQBX standard actually. Um, and it's I think everything is just fine. So I'm not sure about the regulation that you say. Probably it's some niche thing that happening in the France that related to political. But so far about halal stuff, I think it's still acceptable for them.
And the next question, like we know there are a movement in Europe currently trying to prevent the stunning of animals, like
Yeah.
pursuit of transparency through mandatory labeling or slaughter method coexist with its commitment to protect religious rights? Or does the greater transparency risk becoming a subtle form of discrimination against religious slaughter practice? As my friend already questioned before, that it is clearly quite, how do I say it? It's quite rough to have become a minor religion in Europe, especially.
Yeah, that's quite a thing as well because if you want to, that's also a problem actually because in Sharia law we need to like directly slaughter the animal without stunning because like what I have explained before in stunning we might the animal might dead because of the stunning itself instead of the slaughtering, but some company that providing that service, they actually have their own way how to make sure that the animal is dead because of the slaughtering instead of the stunning. Um, but yeah, it's kind of hard things to do. That's why my company didn't do that. They didn't really like certify meat products or animal or like slaughterhouse, something like that. But still, it is a regulation in Europe. Um, we are not allowed to slaughter animal without stunning because that's the regulation here to protect the animal, to concern about animal welfare. So halal certifying body needs to find their own way or methodology or technique or something like that. They need to have an innovation to face these things. And one of the ways actually see if they still moving. So that's what I heard from my colleagues. So when they get stunned, you can see that they are still like breathing, and then in a few seconds you directly slaughter the animal. And in this way we can get both ways. I mean, we also comply to the animal welfare about stunning, but we also comply about the halal. But still, this is the thing that is really critical and hard. So this is actually a challenge for us, for certifying body, to find a way. But that's a really great question because there's also problem everywhere. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Rita. And okay, so we go to the next question. Okay.
Are you still single?
Okay. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Tina Divarianingsi, and also thanks for Bu Citra Pratiwi Prayitno for the chance. I'd like to ask Ms. Dita about, I'm sure about a little bit from your work experience in sensory analysis and food cognition. How can sensory science contribute enhancing how products, acceptability, and consumer satisfaction? To make it easy, maybe if you don't mind, to tell us about your work experience story, because as we all know here, most of us here is students in their second or third year, just to make us get a new knowledge before our course in college start. Maybe in 6 semester that called halal food courses. So if you don't mind to tell us, that's all for my questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your question. Yeah, about my specialization in sensory science. Actually, since bachelor, I really attracted to sensory science, and sensory science is applied for everything. Actually, in general, product in general is vegan, and we need to develop that if we can make like meat replacer from soybean, for example, if the acceptance is clearly accepted as a new way of eating meat, for example. Uh, but in general, if you develop halal product, of course, you need to have a consumer test, and this is really important for R&D as well before they can launch their product and sell them to the market. But for my career itself in halal, actually, my sensory science, the specific sensory science is not really like uh, related or really helping, because in halal you work more towards the halal quality instead of like sorry, not halal quality, like food quality instead of food technology. But you need the knowledge of food technology when you visit the company to see and to understand the process, and whether if there is any possibility when halal might be non-conformance, I could say. But I also can share my experience in food sensory, in sensory evaluation, sensory things. So in my bachelor, my research is all about sensory, and then after I graduate, I work in one of company in Indonesia in Perfettivan Mail. So this is like a global company from Netherlands that merged with Italian company. If I think you are also familiar with the product, if you ever like eat Mentos or uh, Bubble or Chupa Chup, they produced by my company, and uh, my old company, I mean. And that time I worked as an quality assurance, and I need to see the expired date of the product, and one of the way is also see the sensory acceptance of the product. And in this case, I use a lot of my sensory knowledge. But then after I resigned, I went to my university. I also got my thesis research about sensory. I examined about insect that time. But yeah, I could say I don't really have like experience relating to sensory and halal. I mean, it's something different. It's something different, but it help you. It help you. Yeah. So sensory is actually not only for halal, but it's for product in general. It's not niche. It's not specific for halal.
Malah harus masih
Hope it helps. Hope it explain and answer your question.
di 12 nasi.
To us, your experience, and that's a nice one I will know. Thank you for your answers, Miss.
Yeah. No worries.
Okay, maybe this is the last one from the students in the room. Oh, no, there are still many questions. In Zoom, does anyone want to ask Miss Nita first? Oh,
Expand.
okay, just in the room.
I have a question.
Uh, does anyone already raise hand in the room, in the Zoom?
Yes.
No, no one. No one. Okay, maybe we'll move to the yes, the students in the room.
Belum masuk, Pak.
Belum masuk.
Thank you for this opportunity. Let me introduce myself. My name is Juanda Sarta Saputra from the Agricultural Product Technology Study Program
Masih ada yang
class
tanya, Pak, yang tulis.
2025. How
Masih
the
ada yang
world's
tanya di kelas.
universities or
Masih
research
ada yang tanya
institutions
yang di kelas.
for support policy development and industry training on halal practice
Resen aja, Pak.
in the
Resen, resen.
Netherlands. Thank you.
Reak
Oh,
terus di
okay.
tangan.
Yeah. Thank you for the question. Actually, for university itself, here it's not really common for them to have research on halal. So as far as I know, because yeah, it was in case of my company, they're also looking for someone outside the Netherlands, someone who really understands the Sharia law and also for technology, about the technical things. So basically, unlike Indonesia, because in Indonesia, university and also institution, they work together to develop things, to develop regulation, to which that is applicable for Indonesia. But instead, my company, for example, we also cooperate with LPPOM MUI. So we have a really good relationship with Indonesia. We really have a good relationship with BBTH in the past time. I think it started in 1996. That's the founder of my office. They met someone from LPPOM MUI. They talk about Indonesia helping Netherlands to develop their halal standard. So they can have certification body, they can have halal standard and helping companies around Europe to have a halal combined product so they can export to others countries, including Indonesia. So yeah, here in Europe, I don't think there are lots of university or institution that helping the development of halal, but instead they learn from other countries that is expert, including Indonesia, and I think that's a good thing. Hope it helps.
Kalau kamu kemarin, kalau kamu
Okay, thank you. Maybe we now we move to the Zoom. There is Pak Budi want to ask
Okay.
your mic.
Thank you very much. My voice is clear?
Yes,
Okay.
I can hear.
Okay, thank you, Ibu Rita. Is your presentation is very good and interesting. But
Thank you.
I want to talk about my story about halal.
I ever go to Japan and Portugal. That Japan Tokyo University and especially canteen campus canteen. And
Yes.
then uh, in the campus canteen and Tokyo University, there's divide two place like halal food and non halal food. But uh, for the one place for the plate disease, plate disease, wash disease,
Mhm.
plate wash disease, compound halal non halal food and halal food combined for the disease plates. Uh,
Yes.
and the same the Portugal. Portugal are like a restaurant and hotel.
Mhm.
Put halal and non put halal. The one plates like a pork and the cow like chicken.
Mhm.
But one table. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. What is your opinion about this? Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Budi, for the story. This is also interesting, and this has become my concern as well when I live in the Netherlands because some restaurants they also claim, oh, they have halal food, they have halal meat, but I'm not sure about the possibility of cross contamination in their kitchen because they also share, let's say, sell utensils, they share the plate, they share the fork, they share the cupboard and something like that. It's not something that we can really control unless they have certification. But I would say, let's see from the Sharia law itself, because when I work in this company, I also questioning this to my colleague, and I got a really good explanation about this. So actually, um, pork itself, we knew that how to clean pork is by ritual cleaning. So we need to wash the things that are contaminated with pork like 7 times, and one of them is with cleaning agent, for example, detergents. But in Al Quran itself, it's actually not mentioning about pork. It's mentioning about dog. So there's no specific ayah in Al Quran saying that when we need to clean the pork itself, we need to really clean them like 7 times. It's only for dog. But in Indonesia, we follow a certain mazhab. We follow Shafi'i mazhab, and in Shafi'i it's like stricter. Well, actually, BBGB's standard is following Shafi'i, but it's not like whole Shafi'i because we also have our own, how to say, uh, ulama or people who is really understand about Sharia, and we develop our standard ourselves. So it's not 100% following Shafi'i. But if we see
Ikutin sama
another mazhab,
100% tambah 5
they
10
don't really
Maliki
like it's not really mandatory for us to clean pork like 7 times. And this is actually easy me. So whenever whenever you have, for example, you clean the plate and it's only like 1 time, it's the plate is like, for example, pork cutlet, and it's clean, but it's only once. It's not like a ritual cleaning without like 7 times cleaning, but it's still okay for other mazhab. So actually depends.
tapi kalau dia lihat seru jadi perlu seru
Putus,
The
putus ya.
dianya
Putus.
dianya
Oh.
dari jaringan
and
dia
we always say individually, you want to use the thing, you need to clean 7 times, and then you need to sweat.
berapa coba
Di Belanda,
di
Pak.
Belanda
Sorry, I think I get kicked out. Yeah. Where am I? So in other mazhab, it's not really the things. So for me myself, I always see all the environment. If I live in Europe and there is like not so many Muslim majority, I will go eat for myself. If there is a halal restaurant, then I will go to halal restaurant. But if there is no halal restaurant, then I can go to a normal restaurant and choose the vegan option, for example, vegan or vegetarians, or maybe I can choose fish. But still, if they sell pork or something like that, nothing I can do with that because I cannot control how they do the dishes and something like that. So yeah, it depends on the mazhab that you follow. But for me, I will try uh, to find halal thing as much as possible, but I will not force myself to follow Shafi'i or BBGB standard. That's my opinion about this, Pak Budi. Hope it interesting and answer your question.
Mic-nya mati, Pak.
Any other question?
Ya, thank you Ibu Dita.
Okay, we will
And
move to the next question from the schedule in the Zoom. You can open your mic.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. I am Rizkia Chinda Amelia from Agriculture Product Technology 2024, and I'm sorry I can't turn on my camera because I'm still in another activity. Before that, thank you Kadita for the insight that I learned today. So I would like to ask about many non-Muslim consumers are now choosing halal products because they believe they are cleaner and safer. And do you think the halal label has become a new global standard of quality rather than just a religious symbol? For example, in countries like South Korea and Japan, several non-Muslim restaurants have started offering halal menus.
yes. About halal label, actually, this is one way of helping Muslim consumer to choose Muslim and non-Muslim, of course, to choose the product that they want to consume. But I think because the growth of Muslim itself in every region, in every country, they also aware that they want to broaden their consumer because once they also provide the things that they can eat, then it also increase their economic growth, let's say. Because halal is also a trend, because many years ago people always eat meat, but nowadays we also have trends to eat something vegetarian, to eat something vegan, and because people more aware about animal welfare, they don't want to eat meat anymore, they only eat plant-based product. And it's also shifting to halal when people really think, oh, halal product is safer, halal product is way more, way better in its quality. So people looking for like halal label in their product. It's really helpful for the consumer, but for in the Netherlands itself, it's not really common to find product with halal logo, especially because most of our client in this case, they are B2B, so they are business to business. So they sell their product to another company that might repack their product into another, might repack their product into consumer packaging, let's say. So they don't need the halal logo in their package, but they only need the certificate. But of course, in halal majority, it is really helpful for people to choose what to consume because of the halal label. But in case in the Netherlands, some restaurant also have halal logo. But if I want to know, actually they already practice it, but they don't really like saying that they are halal. So every time I go to a restaurant, I will ask, "Do you have halal meat here, or is the chicken halal?" Because in Europe, I think, especially in the Netherlands, halal chicken is quite common. So most of restaurant they do have uh, halal meat. And actually, I don't know why, but halal meat is quite cheaper here. I don't know what's the reason, but halal meat is always cheaper compared to non halal meat, because maybe because they are sold in bulk. For example, in slaughterhouse, then you got like a lot of amount of meat, something like that. But if you buy original meat in the supermarket, it will be like pricier. But if you bought them in a halal slaughtering or halal like Turkish store, they sometimes they always sell halal food. So here, even though we don't have logo, you can always ask, and there's always big possibility that they do have halal meat. But for a certain case, like restaurant having halal logo, of course, because they are aware, like because so many people asking, do you have halal meat, something like that. I also have one of example. Actually, this is a really good example. There is a new opening of Korean restaurant here in the Netherlands. It called Pike Noodle. If you know, Pike is a popular chef from Korea, and he has lots of restaurant franchise around the world. And they just opened this year in Amsterdam, but they don't have vegan option, they don't have vegetarian option, they don't have halal option. But I think a lot of people asking about that. And then I saw that they want to open a new branches that's selling halal, vegan, and vegetarian option. So every food industry, they always see their consumer, because consumers is also a king for them, because they are the one who consume their product, so they need to fulfill the consumer willingness, like that. Yeah, I hope it helps.
Okay, maybe it's already clear explanation from the Kindle, prescription Kindle question. And now maybe after Niari, you can open your mic. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Efteniari. I'm a student of Agricultural Product Technology 2025. So, is there a special standard for hotels, containers, or
Oh, I cannot hear you clearly because you are muted, and I think the connection is just disconnected in the middle and you're speaking. Can you repeat your question again?
okay? Hello?
Hello?
Okay. Is there a special standard for coating materials, containers, or stuffs in halal logistic food?
Okay. For containers, this is also the things that we really concern, especially if you want GSO or SMIC standard, so standard for Gulf countries and Turkey, for example, but also in Indonesia. So every time we audit a company, we need to see like the three previous loading. So if there is a bulk material received in bulk, so bulk means that we receive in a huge amount, and we will use the container. We will reuse the container for other products. We need to see their cleaning recording and also the three previous loading. For Indonesia, for BPGBH, we need to see if the three previous loadings or three previous stuff that have been carried out in this container is not containing haram material like pork, alcohol, or I don't know, some other things, maybe meat that is not halal slaughtered. It's not a lot. If the three previous loading contain one of them the haram material, then it is not allowed to use that container to to fill the halal product in that container. So it should be like more than three previous loading. For example, like for example, now I have pork or I have alcohol, but then I reuse the container, reuse it, and I clean it, I use it again until the five loadings, and then I use I use that for halal product, then it is allowed for BPGPS standard. But for GSO and GCC, it is really not allowed to use anything that has been used by haram things. So they are really need to be really halal integrated, halal really to be need to be halal. There's no they're not accepting things with haram. But BPGBH we accept cleaning. So for example, if you want to use a facility that probably the facility is been contaminated with pork, and then we need to do the ritual, the cleaning ritual, the seven thingy, the washing things with a detergent, and then we swap the facility, and we go to the lab, see if there's any DNA. If there is nothing, no trace, then we can use that. But for standard for GSO or SMIC from Turkey or Saudi Arabia, they will not accept it. They need to buy a new facility. They need to build a new building, and if it's in case of transportation, then they need to really separate it between halal and non-halal transportation. So in conclusion, we need to see which standard that we use. In some standard, they are not allowed to use any haram material. In some standard, it's allowed, but you need to do the cleaning and see if the three previous loading is not containing haram material. Thank you.
Thank you, Kak Dita.
Yeah, anytime.
Okay. So, Miss Ita, do you want, is it okay if we move to the next question or?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so now maybe.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. Let me introduce myself. My name is Sangaji, and I, as the student of the Agriculture Product Technology 2024, and my question is, as we know, in the Europe, is Muslim have a bad perception to European people, and my question is, how to persuade the European people to take halal certification for their business, as we see when we are seeing that background. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. So basically, when we see like business thing and social thing, it's really spirited entities. So actually, people don't care like what is your background as long as they get money. That's the that's explicit thing to say. But yeah, in the Netherlands itself, actually, it's quite open about Muslim. People are super open-minded. They don't really like see your background. They are really open to speak to you, even though you're hijabis. And so far, I don't really get like bad, a bad, how to say, like bad people like mocking me or something like that because I'm a Muslim, at least in the Netherlands. But of course, I also experienced that thing in other countries. But fortunately, I live in Netherlands and everything is fine. But yeah, a question for a company. When you work in a company, it's a big entity. It's a big it's a about economic. They do care about how to run the business smoothly, and they need to see all the chance, all the opportunity that they have in the world. What is the trend, and they need to follow the trend because otherwise they cannot continue their business. So that's the thing. So if people here, I think, of course, there are some people that have like a bad perception or Islamophobic, but there are also lots of people that really open of any religion. They do respect your own religion. They do respect what is your decision because yeah, we can see like vegan, vegetarian, they don't want to eat meat, and they do respect people who don't want to eat meat, and vegan or vegetarian people also respect people who eat meat. So this is the case. Even in my office, there are some people as well that are not even a Muslim. So, but they do understand. They do understand the standard. They do understand how it should be, how it goes, how's the law, how's the regulation. So people from Europe who is responsible, for example, R&D or their quality assurance, taking care about halal, even though they are not Muslim, even though they are not really understand, but they have a training before. They learn about it, so that's why they also have their certification body who can assist them how to create halal system, how to create halal product. So everything can be learned. It's not that you need to be a Muslim, or it's not about like you don't like Muslim people, but how it's about how you can do your job well. And it's I think it's also like decision from the company itself, and I don't think company really how to say really think about that. They do really think, but they don't really like they don't really see that as an obstacle. So yeah.
Okay, thank you, Miss, for the answer, and I think that's enough for me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, maybe the last question, Visita, is from me. So I want to know, like, as you already shared earlier that you already audited many companies, and I want to know, like, whether you ever audited like the pharmaceutical or the or the cosmetic companies, because as we know that your background, educational background is on the food sector, and in Indonesia itself, so as far as I know that our regulation already stated that for the auditor should just audit based on their educational background. So
Yes.
how about in there?
Okay. Yeah, we do have clients that also run their business on pharmaceutical sector. Not only food but also pharmaceutical. But so far for auditing things, I've never assigned to audit a pharmaceutical company, but instead I was assigned for biochemical companies. So companies who produce, for example, vitamins, supplements, or probiotics, something like that. And it is actually also a good point. When an audit needs to audit something, they need to have a background knowledge. But the thing is, in my company, we don't really see that for now because we are kind of short of employment, let's say, because not a lot of people are capable to do the halal things because they don't have the background and don't really understand about the things. So in this case, all of our auditors having food technology or chemical engineering background, and they do understand the process in general. But before we do the audit, we also do research. We read, we see their documentation. We try to learn how the process goes. Because they also have website, and they big company, normally they have everything on their website, so you can take a look information from that. And actually for the process itself, we also receive a document about that. So even though your background is not chemistry, you can also audit pharmaceutical company as long as you know how the process goes and how the principle is, and you can always ask question to them. So if you don't understand, you just ask them, how's the process, how this thing goes, even before the audit, because we also do the screening, and in the screening process, it's the time when we can learn about the company itself. Yeah. So here in Europe, not in Europe, like in my company, we don't really like see that. As long as you have like general information or general background about food technology and chemistry.
You for your insightful lecture and also information, yeah, about the difference between the halal Indonesia and also in the Netherlands, especially. So maybe that's the last question from us, and maybe let me have a conclusion first.
by your lecture. So nowadays there are already many halal body in the world, and although each of them have their own regulations, but thankfully they already concerned about halal product, and their numbers keep increasing right now. Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Dita, for today's session, today's event. And now we will continue with the next part of today's event. And have a wonderful day, everyone. Once again, thank you very much, Ms. Vita, for sharing your knowledge and experience with us. Now I will hand the session back to the Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you.
Thank you very, thank you very much to our speaker, moderator, and all.
Okay, thank you, Miss Dita.
Thank you.
Please accept the certificate we have provided. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your knowledge share with us, and we wish you continued success. Yeah.
Thank you, Bapak.
Okay.
Thank you
Thank
for
you for your
inviting me
time
and this
and
opportunity.
yes, knowledge shares with us. Very very good. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bapak Herpandi. Finally, we have reached the end of today's International Guest Lecture. We would like to express our gratitude to our speaker, moderator, and all participants for joining and contributing to this meaningful event. We hope today's program enrich our knowledge and expands our perspective as agricultural product technology students about career pathways in global halal industry. Thank you very much for your attention. See you in our next exciting agenda. Have a wonderful afternoon and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good
Thank
weekend.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Kasih lock. Iya. Suaranya emang kurang keras, Pak. Suaranya yang dari ruang kurang masuk.
Baik.